Hey guys! Welcome to join in the micro lectures on how to read and write scientific papers. This is Xiaoqing from Northwest Agriculture and Forestry University. In the first section, we will be discussing on what is scientific papers and the core values of them. Here are two goals for your learning. Number 1, understand what is scientific papers. Number 2, appreciate the 4 key features of them. Now, let's enter into the classroom.
According to Citable, a collaborative learning space supported by Nature Education, scientific papers are for sharing your original research work with other scientists or for reviewing research conducted by others. As such, they are critical to the evolution of modern science in which the work of one scientist builds upon that of others. High-qualified papers can be traced and cited via indexing tools. Currently in science world, the most authoritative one would be SCI, Science Citation Index. Created in 1961, Science Citation Index now indexes over 9,200 of the world's most impactful journals across 178 scientific disciplines. Next, we will be talking about features of scientific papers. Let me draw your attention to the following 4 aspects: paradigm, originality, novelty, and readability. To talk about paradigm of scientific papers, we have to go back to the year of 1665. That was when the very first issue of the Philosophical Transactions of the Royal Society was published. This periodical was the first journal exclusively devoted to science and is now the world's longest-running scientific journals. Since then, the norms and formats of modern scientific languages have been established. Papers that report experimental work are often structured chronologically in 5 sections. First, introduction, then materials and methods, results and discussion, and finally, conclusion. The introduction section clarifies the motivation for the work presented and prepares readers for the structure of the paper. The materials and methods section provides sufficient detail for other scientists to reproduce experiments presented in the paper. In some journals, this information is placed in an appendix because it's not what most readers want to know first. The results and discussion sections present and discuss the research results, respectively. They are often usually combined into one section. However, because readers can seldom take sense of results alone without accompanying interpretation, they need to be told what the result means. The conclusion section presents the outcome of the work by interpreting findings at a higher level of abstraction than the discussion and by relating these findings to the motivation stated in the introduction. In 1953, Cambridge University scientists James Watson and Francis Crick announced that they have determined the double helix structure of DNA, the molecule containing human genes. Watson and Crick's solution followed its publication in that month's issue of Nature magazine, and we all know that this article revolutionized the study of biology and medicine. Sir Ian Wilmot, British developmental biologist who was the first to use nuclear transfer of differentiated adult cells to generate a mammalian clone, made a thin Dorset shape named Dolly, born in 1996. He and his colleagues of the Roslin Institute, Edinburgh, Scotland, published the groundbreaking finding in Nature in the following year. Scientific research articles value the originality of research work. Thus, scientific papers, especially SCI papers, play a significant role in the process of human understanding and transformation of the world. In July 2011, Science has published an article co-authored by 3 researchers from research institutes in the US. This behavioral research titled Human Voice Recognition Depends on Language Ability takes only 1 page with less than 700 English words. Containing neither fanced experiments nor complicated statistics, and with only 1 chart to illustrate the results, this behavioral study won the favors of editors of Science with its innovative research perspective. The study shows that distinguishing between other people's voice might seem like a trivial task to regular human beings. However, if those people are speaking a language you don't understand, it becomes much harder. The principle lying behind is the fact that human beings tend to rely on individuals' difference in pronouncing to help identify their voices. Therefore, neuroscientists at MIT theorize that people with dyslexia would find it much more difficult to identify speakers of their native language than non-dyslexic people. That ability to process the relationship between sounds and their meanings, also known as phonology, is believed to be impaired in people with dyslexia. Reporting science clearly and accurately is a fundamental part of the scientific process, facilitating both the dissemination of knowledge and the reproducibility of results. We all benefit from needing less time to understand a research paper. Clear and easily understandable papers will help both scientists and non-scientists to appreciate the published work. High-quality SCI journals value readability of a research paper. For example, journals like Nature, Cell, and Science require setting in bold the caption "Forced Sentence." This elevates its importance and ensures that the author uses it to provide high-level description. Other journals may suggest that authors provide a descriptive first sentence. High-quality scientific papers are based around outstanding results, and a good title will reflect that. To borrow from science information for authors, use titles and headings of the form Factor X requires Factor Y to function in Process Z, rather than analysis of Factor X and Y using Approach Q. There are many ways to improve the readability of a paper, and you have to be patient in taking care of that, both format and logic, as Brian McKinnon explained in his paper, that papers with low readability will take risk with a reduction in citations.
Well, in this micro-lecture, you have learned what is scientific papers. Keep in mind the key words for the definition. Scientific papers is all about presenting original research work and reviewing literatures by others. More importantly, modern scientific papers share several common features. I will remind a few the 4 letters. They are P, O, N, and R. Can you think of the full terms? Yes, they are paradigm, originality, novelty, and readability. Congratulations on your achievement! Now, go to the database of your school and find 1 or 2 papers in your discipline. Observe the structure of the article and think about the core values of the paper. This is Xiaoqing from NWAFU. See you next time. Bye-bye.